Hi everyone, welcome to the first edition of Build on Bitcoin workshop, which aims to educate people on how they can contribute and build their applications on Bitcoin. In this first session, I'm pleased to have Mohammed, who is the CEO and co-founder of Pravica. Thank you. Welcome, Mohammed.
Thank you, Alan. Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here with you all, talking about building real applications on top of Bitcoin. Um, short introduction about me. I am Mohammed Abdou. I am the founder and CEO of Pravica, and I came from the technical background. I have more than 23 years of solid experience in software engineering, information security, and cryptography. And I have about 7 years of experience in the blockchain space, building products and trying to solve real problems using this great innovation. From about 3 years, we started the journey of Pravica. We started with a very MVP product, very small product. It was about solving the problem of data breaches and privacy violation in the email space. And then we completed the journey. We started to build the product. We started to raise fund, and we succeeded to close our round. It was back in, I believe, 2020, yeah, at the time of COVID. We succeeded to close the first round with total investment of $750,000 from prominent VCs like 500 Startups, Crypto Valley Venture Capital in Switzerland, and also Stacks Ventures. And then we started to expand the scope. It was about the email problem only, and then we continued in developing more solutions that can tackle the problem of privacy, data privacy for users in terms of digital communication. So we rebranded to Pravica to give the users all needed tools that they can use, especially for enterprises, to secure the internal communication, like email services that's based on decentralized identities, and also messaging service, conference service, calendar, and some other more services, especially in the field of digital communication. Recently, we are building a new tool that I believe is going to make a good impact in terms of communities, like because we see that a lot of troubles in terms of communications for communities. Like if you'd like to build your community, you are using, most probably you are using something like Discord or Slack. So these products, they have a problem in the internal infrastructure for these problems, for these products, because it's already built on top of Web2 architecture. So there is a client server model database, which is allowing these service providers to own and control your data. And they are not ready to deal with the crypto assets. So to solve this problem, they started to use something like bots, which is the main reason we see every single day a lot of news coming out about the bot hacks, and a lot, tens of millions of dollars being stolen from these because of these bots or hacking these bots. So we are building a new tool called Pravica Club. So I'm inviting everyone, if you would like to check pravica.club, you will get familiar of this new awesome product that we're gonna utilize, or the concept of private and secure communication, end-to-end encrypted communication by the keys that's owned by the users. Um, so I would like to discuss the real concept of the Web3, because if you'd like to build such a product that utilizing the Web3 standards, you need to um, to focus on two aspects here. The first one is the identity, because Web 2, it's not based on the user-owned identity. So if you would like to use any product, think about it like Facebook, any product in Web 2, you need to have a username, password, or you need to have your email and password, or for example, in WhatsApp, you need to provide your mobile number and then receiving OTP to log in. But in Web3, it's a complete different story here. So you can think about it like removing all the authentication modules that's already built on email, password, all these mechanism, and trying to use something different. So every user here in our systems, they have their own wallet. So if you have your own wallet, this is your main gateway to start authenticating inside the product and start using the service. And then inside your wallet, you will have to provide your users um, the ability to own a decentralized identity. For example, we are building on top of Stacks, and Stacks is enabling developers to build product that's connected with the Bitcoin network. Um, so, for example, if you'd like to build something relating to the decentralized identity, you have a solution right there, which is called the Blockchain Naming System, or BNS. So BNS, that's implemented in Stacks, allowing you to build your decentralized identity. So think about it like, for example, Alan. So Alan, you will have alan.btc or alan.id. This readable format of the identity, allowing you to exchange everything related to the crypto assets. So for example, I'm going to send NFT to alan.btc, or you can authenticate inside the application with your identity, which is alan.btc, and so on. I can send you an email to alan.btc. So um, the identity is one of the main pillars when you talk about decentralized applications. So your identity should be decentralized, and this identity is carrying underneath the key pair. So I have abdo.btc, and I own my private key, and then there is a public key that's already stored on the chain, and you can utilize this concept without any need for username and password and all these things. And also, you need to think about the storage. So the identity and the storage. You need to think about solutions that allowing you to build the storage system that can meet the Web3 standards, and allowing you to store the data in a decentralized format. So for example, in Stacks, we have a great solution called Gaia that allowing you to store the data for the users in a decentralized format. So if I would like to put my data on Gaia, then I can encrypt these data with my own keys, and no one else can touch these data because it's already encrypted in the storage layer. So no one can decrypt these things or monetize from these data. Only me who can give the permission to anyone, if I would like to give a permission for another application to use it. And also, if you'd like to sign out or stop using any kind of applications, the data itself is stored away from the application. So this is why it is a decentralized, and no one else can touch your data, and you are the only one owning and controlling your data. No one can monetize from it. So the main two pillars here are the decentralized identity and decentralized storage. These two things differentiating us from the Web 2. So Web 3, it's all about the decentralized identity, the decentralized storage, and then utilizing the different crypto assets like fungible tokens or non-fungible tokens and all these things. What's the most interesting here is the changing in the business model. So business model in Web 2 is based on, for example, transaction fees or subscription model, which is the most common business models in any whatever it is, SaaS product or whatever it is. But um, by start building on top of Web3, it gives you the ability to use a different business models, and you can monetize from a different ways rather than normal subscription or transaction fees when you think about marketplaces and all these things. So, for example, you can sell or you can mint a collection of NFTs and allowing your users to use your product because they own this kind of NFT. And also, you can even whatever about the tokenization, or if you have a great value that it requires to use the tokenization model and issuing a token for the users. It's a kind of utility token to enable the different business models in Web3. So to start building on top of Bitcoin, we know that Bitcoin is not scalable. Bitcoin is very simple and it is designed to be like this. No one will be able to change the core concept of the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is here just to guarantee the decentralized and peer-to-peer transaction when you send um, Bitcoin or certain amount from A to B. That's it. There is no smart contract in Bitcoin and nothing else allowing you to build more ideas. What Stacks changed here is they came up with a new concept, which is the proof of transfer. So when you think about the scalability issue in the Bitcoin network, no one can solve it from the Bitcoin core itself. But what Stacks did, uh, they succeeded to build the novel consensus algorithm called proof of transfer that allowing users to build smart contracts and securing or make that data settlement on top of Bitcoin. Because so far, Bitcoin is the most secure network in all over the world. There is no network secured rather than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is secured and backed by huge amount uh, of the hash power. So no one can change the content of any block like 2 3 blocks before the block right now. No one can do it. It needs a tremendous amount of computing power and energy to change the data. This is why the Bitcoin is the most secure network we have right now. So think about smart contract on top of Stacks. That's by using Clarity language, which is it's a different than Solidity. Like when you build smart contract on Ethereum, you need Solidity language, but on Stacks you need Clarity language. It's easy to use, and the most important thing here, it's totally transparent. Like in the Ethereum network, you need to trust the developer because it's running on top of EVM. So you need to trust like 10% only or maybe less from the contracts that you can check the code inside. But in Stacks, like you can check it right now. Go to explorer.stacks.co and check every single transaction. You can check the code of the smart contract. If this transaction is based on smart contract, you can check the code by yourself. This is something very, very important when you talk about the data security and the transparency, because here you don't need to trust the developer uh, you need to trust the technology itself. And in Stacks, you can do something like this very easy. And then every single transaction on Stacks chain, it's going to be collected every 10 minutes. Like in Bitcoin, there is, we know that there is a new block every 10 minutes, on average, every 10 minutes. In Stacks, also, there is a new block coming on average every 10 minutes, directly after the new Bitcoin coming out to life. So what happens here is we are collecting, or Stacks, they are collecting the whole transaction. You can think about it like hundreds of transactions or maybe thousands of transactions being collected and then translated to one single hash value that's being anchored on a new Bitcoin transaction, and you have a signature on the Bitcoin network. This is why you can imagine that every new block on Stacks is connected coming out after a new block of Bitcoin. And um, doing the data settlement on the Bitcoin network, it inherits the huge amount of security and hashing power behind the Bitcoin network. This is something very important to take care about when you build something like DeFi products, or um, and something also very important about the gas fees. Sometimes the network congestion um push the gas fees to the high limit, and maybe it stops you from doing transaction because you need to pay a lot. Uh, but in Stacks, you know exactly the amount that you're gonna pay in the transaction, and it's something very very cheap in comparison with the Ethereum network. This is how you need to think about building the products on top of Stacks or connected with the Bitcoin. Think about the identity, think about the storage, and think about the transparency when it comes to smart contracts and the execution and the gas fees. This is something very important that you need to check out. Also, there is a great advantage here when you start thinking about building products on top of Stacks. Um, we have in Stacks, we have like as independent entities like Stacks Foundation, and they have a very good resources to support new products and new ideas. And we have Stacks Ventures like um Pravica. We have the privilege to be one of the uh, first 25 companies um, came out from first cohort at Stacks Ventures, and I believe that in a very soon the application will be open for Core 3. Just Core 2 just finished from about like some days ago. I believe that last week. Um, it was the demo day for Core 2, and every company, um, I believe that you can get about $50,000. And then the most important thing here, beside the money, is the connection, because Stacks Ventures open the gate for you to validate your idea and to be well connected with the community and the entities behind Stacks, and you will get a great mentorship that allowing you to validate your idea and take your idea to the next level and execute it and get funded and get promoted through Stacks community. So this is something very important also when you start thinking about building a new product in this space. You need to be connected and building with a strong community. With a like Stacks, we have a very strong growing community that that's supporting every new idea, and also helping these ideas to get better. And in terms of if you have technical issues, you can directly talk to the tech people. They are very helpful and they're going to help you. If you have a problem with the fundraising, you can connect with other uh, uh, people inside the community and from Stacks Foundation. They're going to help you a lot to achieve your targets. So I would like to keep the session like more active. So if you feel that you need to ask something specifically in terms of developing the product or any other things relating to building on top of Bitcoin, I hope that we can I can see a lot of questions to answer.
Yeah, seems there's no question yet from the
Yeah,
audience.
yeah, no problem. If you have
Uh,
any question about the process, I'm very welcome to answer.
I think while we wait, I have a question
Okay.
about the aspect of auditing smart contracts via if you're building on via Bitcoin on stacks. What's the thought process around that?
This is the great question in terms of the auditing. I believe that because the how can I say like I would like to give you some example. When you go to explorer.stacks.co, if you can follow up with me in this link, explore. Let me try to post this here. Can I send it as a comment here? I can't. Anyway, you can go to explorer.stacks.co. You can see this is a kind of public explorer for the Stacks chain. Check any, like this one, first one. Can you see it? It's called roll deposit many, right? Can you check it, Alan? In the confirm it section. When you open this transaction, okay,
Yeah.
uh, this transaction, any transaction that with the icon function, because it's expected to be a smart contract one. When you open any transaction of these transactions and go down, you can check the code itself. Like you can see the source code. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see there's a 55 lines of
Whatever it is, according to
yeah.
the transaction that you are examining right now, you can see the source code. So this is very, very important in terms of auditing and transparency. In terms of transparency, everything in front of the users. And you can check exactly what this contract is doing before you sign the transaction or before you executing the transaction. In terms of auditing, think about it now. You have a DeFi project and you are about to come up in production. I believe that there are some entities, professional entities. The main job for these entities is doing auditing on top of your smart contract code to make sure that there is no vulnerabilities or there is no issues about your code that may allow attackers or people to do malicious activities and taking the advantage of this issue inside your code. So from the auditing process, I believe that you should do your job as a product owner in terms of doing your best to audit your smart contract code. And then when you talk about something critical in terms of DeFi projects or something that dealing with money, so you need to do an extra auditing, you can hire someone from these entities and they can do full audit for your smart contract code to come up with the results if there is some issues indeed that you need to cover before publishing the contract.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that information. Think there is no question for now,
No
so
problem.
I'll wrap up
No
the,
problem.
the
I'm very open to any
stream.
question. Maybe when you start exploring these new concepts, start building your. Maybe we can give you some resources. So you can go, for example, stx.name. If you know this service, stx.name, it
Yeah,
allows you to reserve your identity. Like if you'd like it to .id or .bt, once you start to use these services, there is no username and password, as I mentioned before. You just need to install the Hero wallet and have some STX in this wallet. Then you can interact with these applications easily without any need for a username and password, as I mentioned before.
yeah, very true. I also have a name on alanmw.btc, and one thing I liked about Stacks is that that name I can also use it as a domain name for my website. So I think this is a great
Yes.
revolution on
Yes, one of the use
using
cases for the
capacity.
decentralized domain names is to use it as, but you need to do some settings inside the browser
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
to enable access for these kind of websites and hosting and all these things. But this is one of the great use cases. For example, if you go to Pravica, you can send me a connection request so we can start communicating over Pravica using your .btc name. So, for example, my ID is abdo.btc. You can authenticate, then you can send me a connection request, and then we can chat over there. If you would like to send me anything, or if you'd like to ask about anything, my email is abdu@pravicat.io. You can send me whatever the questions you have when you. I'm pretty sure that once you started to explore that the contract, for example, the BNS contract, and start to interact directly with these tools and start to build on top of stacks, you will have some great questions at that time. I'm very open, whatever it is technically, it is business. If you'd like any help in terms of like you have an idea, you need to discuss about it, you need to start exploring different business models, how you're going to build it. I'm here to help you. And I would love to support all of the new ideas that we can see it coming out from Africa uh, to show that how much energy and talented people that we have. And let me tell you something very important. The, the, the blockchain adoptions or the mass adoption for this great innovation, we believe that everyone also believes that it comes from Africa because we have great problems here. So, in terms of uh, to solve the corruption issue or to accelerate transactions, to build new models, and to enable the financial inclusion and all these things. When we start thinking about building these tools for people to make the life easier using the great innovation of the blockchain and utilizing um, the most important thing here is when you select the infrastructure, which is, for example, stacks, as we speak here. So I believe that we can. There is, I think there is a new report published from about 1 week, 10 days ago, something like this, for the blockchain landscape in Africa. You see that I don't know if you, Alan, had the chance to see to check this report or not. If not, I'm gonna send you a copy of this report. It came out from Standard Bank and Crypto Valley Venture Capital. Um, it focuses on the ecosystem of the blockchain in Africa and showing you how much companies and the growing in the total number of companies, especially in Kenya and South Africa, where I believe that you have a great advantage also because you are um, crypto friendly country. So you are welcoming crypto and you have some regulations that can help and support building such kind of technology inside the country. So this is a huge advantage you have, and I believe that if you have the capabilities, technical capabilities, and the great resources, you will be able to build unicorns coming from Africa and the blockchain industry and the Web3. Think about the NFT and the booming in NFT. Don't think about NFT in such some images, some JPEG. No, you can utilize this concept and this technology to build something great. As an example, you can give access for your product and you can sell the license for your product as an NFT. You can issue certificates as an NFT. So we have 10 to 15 different use cases for utilizing this technology. Try to come out with something that really solve problem. Don't follow the hype. Don't follow the trend. Oh, this is something buzz here about NFT. Let's go and build marketplaces. No, it doesn't work like this. If you really want to build something sustainable, something that you can really be proud one day that I built this. So you need to find a great problem and you need to know how you're going to solve this problem. And then you have now a great resources in terms of technical, business, financial, and all these things ready for you to start build what you think that it's something, maybe it's going to be something great in the very near future.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. This quite insightful words. So this is a call to all developers around Africa. Now is the time to really build your applications on Bitcoin, and that's that will be like very it will be one step away to attaining that full decentralization and not rely on this centralized products or solutions for your products. So I look forward to hearing more people building on Bitcoin. And thank you, Abdul, for accepting my invite to come to this talk.
No, it's a pleasure. Anytime. Anytime.
Okay, so this marks the end of the first edition of the first stream of the Build on Bitcoin workshop. Meanwhile, this session will be recorded. It will still be live on YouTube. And if there is any questions, Abdu's email is abdu@pravica.btc. The no, at pravica.io.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So that is it. I
Thank you.
hope.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure to be with you all, and I hope that I can give more help and more support, especially for people in Africa. I'm from Africa, and for sure, um, totally biased uh, to our region. And I hope that we can build something great to prove that we have the great talents here. Thank you so much.
Definitely.